Not a week for the weary, guys. That is for sure. Let's go ahead and get this fixed here. And let's talk about it. So we had CCJ, the biggest winner of the day, coming into the short position here. I really let this one breathe this morning too. We had that initial bounce, but as soon as this thing formed this like evening star candle formation, and we came to the bearish EMA on the daily, like we basically perfectly back tested this trend line I've been eyeing for a while now. We got the quick follow through, so a little bit of a bounce into the close. Maybe I could have added back into the position, but we got 46% on the day on some swing positions. Um, and so that turned out really good, especially let me just actually back up a little bit. I thought I was going to get railed a bit harder when the data came out so bad this morning. A lot weaker than the market expected. Non-farm payrolls missed. We had unemployment missed too. So despite that, market came and bid it up, but found some resistance kind of at yesterday's lows. Just sellers came and attacked it. And then we had news into the close. Oracle, a standout name for a sell-off. A bit odd to see Oracle kind of sell off on the news that they're no longer building the flagship Texas data center, especially since that's what's kind of led to the sell-off up until this point. The whole reason this stock has been hit so hard is because people think that they're overspending and there's going to be a huge debt issue. Well, now they're not going to spend as much money. They've closed it. They're no longer doing this deal with OpenAI, and the stock sells off anyways. That might turn into a buy the dip opportunity next week, but it really wasn't something I was interested in taking into the close. It did form like a nice double bottom here at 151, and I think we could actually catch a further extension. I'm really looking for this thing to probably come test the 171 here key level that I have, and I wouldn't be surprised if you kind of came up further and kind of tested this trend line over the next month, maybe even more. There's a lot of people who think this is when the weakness truly starts for the market. I actually think that we get a bounce, and that weakness comes in the midterm years. Go review our yearly prediction video and newsletter. That's the highest probability outcome for most midterm years. Okay, especially midterm years where you have changing Fed chair, when you have super high rare metals and minerals taking off and energy starts to move. This year has the most parallels to 2006. And I don't think a lot of people are giving that the appreciation they should. So go read that full analysis if you haven't, because honestly, I think we're still kind of setting up for that in this environment. I'm not too concerned about a full blown plunge, but we've been playing the shorts as they come to us. SNDK has been a tougher name to trade, and we're getting the plunge here. I know some Discord members are still in this. I actually do still have a small position in here as well, so that's cool to see that working. I have the 480 puts in here for next week, and those are looking really good. I think we could get a much bigger plunge out of those, letting that cook. Netflix has been persistently strong. I did size down this morning on this rip that we had, took some meager profits off of that, but I just didn't like that the way the market was kind of setting up. I thought it was too weak. I wanted to see more of a vicious move. I wanted to see more RVOL. So I took some of that off this morning. That ended up being a good move because those premiums have not recovered from the crush that they've received today. I did go ahead and try to swing some IBIT today because Bitcoin, it looked a lot better this morning than it does now, but I wouldn't say that it's dead quite yet. I want to see if over the weekend, if there's some more war headlines or something, if this can get a reaction on the market. It's a very small position. I added to a very small position in silver today as well, because I feel like we're kind of breaking back out of this pattern of consolidation. I liked the way it was behaving. I would prefer to see more participation in this. I would like that RVOL to be a bit higher and get a bit stronger of a move, but it is behaving relatively well. Kind of kind of popped and then kind of consolidated the rest of the day. That's not bearish price action. That is bullish price action. Let's see though if that can turn into a real trend, because that's been the whole problem with this market, obviously, for most of the year. It's just we're not getting a whole lot of trends. We got energy early on in the year, and now it's kind of like fading. But we're still, I mean, finishing the week up more than I expected, quite honestly. I thought today was going to be a bit rougher, ended up being pretty trendy, being nice, made some money on the futures, making some money on the options. Got a really nice exit on our Bank of America position up to, I think we had like 56% on this one. And that one was also playing hard to get. So it's nice to make money overall on that because I've been kind of in and out, kind of managing the risk as this thing kind of acts like it wants to defend these multi-year lows. Let's kind of zoom out so we can get a better view of this. We should probably go to the daily. It's going to be a better representation, right? So this has been a huge key level. And we'll see. Let's see. This might give another opportunity for a re-entry. The weekly on the TTM is just now turning. So I want to see if maybe we'll get one more good plunge to the downside here and then see a recovery come in from Bank of America. And maybe you just bounce over the next few months. Maybe you just consolidate more and then we get the real move. I think it's coming though. I think banks are going to be in for it. I think everyone's, the private credit scares, maybe we'll see that kind of hit the big banks as well, or at least the fear alone cause some volatility in those names. Lots of traders have been asking about USO. What do we think about oil? Big move, right? Big move from oil on the weekly here at an 82 RSI. Overbought, but honestly, overbought is a momentum confirmation to me. It's not a reason to get short. It is a reason, in my opinion, to sell call premiums, especially when the implied volatility is so heavy in this one. It did a really good job of confirming, but it's definitely not something that I could have bought puts in because pretty much all day today, this thing had a nice bullish divergence on the 15-minute. Wasn't appealing for calls. I haven't played oil. We did. That's not true. We actually did play oil on the calls in the breakout, and then we went for a scalp on that would have been Monday actually, where we did like a small scalp and made like 20%. But since then, I just haven't thought it was very clean, and there's too much in the headlines. I do think this will turn into a great short. I do think as well, though, that selling calls against it because the premiums are so pricey. Like you're getting paid very well for that, especially if you give it time. You play very far out the money. I mean, you're making $4 or $5 and you're 20 points out of the money. Even if you want to do something like sell a strangle on it and go wide, go 40 points wide, as long as you finish 20 points within with where we're at now. I don't like it as much as just selling the raw naked calls, but that's another thing you could do here that could probably generate some returns. IWM kind of plunging to the downside. The 6 actually looks a lot weaker than SPY, a lot weaker than Tech, and you're getting the full confirmations here. I did not take a position, but I think that next week we kind of need to have this on the radar because this looks like it wants to take a plummet. I think 250 is coming on the way, even though I think that this is a bit of a fake out, maybe of a double bottom from SPY, where we could see a rally out of the hole coming next week, especially if there's some sort of resolution on the war. I would not be surprised if this becomes like a big bear trap and then the real bearish move comes mid-year like we typically see. Doesn't mean that like I'm going to all in on the prediction of that. I still need to see the market confirm it, but I think it's important that we have that historical precedent, that we do know what the previous rhymes and patterns have been, and kind of, temper expectations with those. I think that's about all I really wanted to cover from there. Oh, I took some wheat today as well. A little bit late into this, but I actually really like the way that this was shaping up, I love this thing setting new higher highs all day long while the RSI kind of does a reset, really giving this some more breathing room to the upside all day. On the 15-minute. So I swung this position, even though on the daily here, it's getting a little exaggerated, especially when we look at the EMAs, but it's totally doable that we get another move like this. So we kind of stay persistently high and we get to 25. 25 is where my calls are at. I really like the way this thing is shaping up. It's not really giving me signals that I need to get out or take profits. I mean, the monthly really breaking out of like this bearish suppression it's had. So we'll see if this move forms something similar to this, or if we get a real follow through. I'm just going to be slowly kind of taking profits along the way, and really try to be persistent with that one. Like I should have been a little bit more persistent with SNDK. This is still the biggest winner on the week rather. Our SNDK shorts, that's great. Oracle, I mean, we've been buying dips on that all week, and that's been nice. Making money. The win rate is actually a little bit better than I thought. I feel like I'm getting burned out of lots of positions, but on review of the week, it's not been that bad. It's just the average win is a lot lower than I typically get, just because I'm having to cut these positions in this chop and, trying to feel out the position. Okay, we played really a lot smaller than usual on a lot of these. So that's a bit bummer, but you got to be patient. You can't be forcing stuff, right? You can't sit at the table, get dealt your cards, and just go all in regardless of what you get, right? We got to wait till the market kind of deals us the better setups. But we're still hunting them out. We're finding some. We're making some money. That's all you can ask for, right? So, can't worry too much about things you can't control. Just doing what I can. We're making some money. We're managing the risks. We're not getting caught up in the chop. We've had a few positions kind of get hit by some premiums, but we've managed to avoid most of those just with good risk management and watching the market. So I hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a great week. And I'll post this all the socials, I think, because it's been a while since we posted the video, especially since the new move. I'll be making more videos. I keep making excuses for not live streaming. I'm going to get a new camera. Obviously, I haven't set up the new office yet as well, because we're in the new house. It's like nothing set up in the new house. I have rooms with no furniture. So I've been too busy to even spend money. All I've been doing is just focus on running the business, making sure we're still making it, and unpacking the stuff I got in the house. So, yeah, as most of you know, moving it's a little chaotic, but it's fun. It's great, and it's good. One of the first things I did is set up my home gym and got back into that routine, and that alone feels amazing. So, sorry, getting a little rambly. God bless. I'll see you all this weekend, this Sunday, for the weekly report. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, join the Discord. See you guys then.